What's up, guys? It's your girl Maccouture from Maccouture Crafting, and I just wanted to pop in really quickly and tell you guys about this present that I had to do really quickly, and it worked out. So I'm super obsessed with the Carolina Moore presents, the bags. You can make a fabric bag that looks like a gift bag that is a gift bag, but it looks better and it's more luxurious and it's hand done, and you can use your scraps and you can get rid of some of your fabric and you can make something very special. In my mind, that was the gift, but then everybody was like, you can't give a gift bag as a gift. I thought it was a very lovely gift bag. Fine. So I went ahead and I made a double oven mitt, but this is like a really well constructed double oven mitt. If you do not have a sewing machine that can handle really thick layers, I suggest just doing the double hand part. You'll see what I'm talking about when you watch this. Just do that double and stitch it down with a zigzag stitch twice, and then you'll be fine. Your machine should be able to handle it. I love how well constructed this double oven mitt is. I think whoever got my gift got a darn good gift. If you need to hurry up and do a gift, like a last minute gift, I think you can knock out probably a few of these if you do it assembly line style very quickly. If you guys want to see me make this again, I did not take a ton of pictures. Matter of fact, I didn't get any pictures of it because I was rushing. So the one picture that you get is the one picture that you get, but they came out really beautifully, and I hope that you guys try it. Let me know, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye. I am having the toughest time trying to remember why I purchased this fabric. I want to make a bag out of it, but I'm like, why did I buy what? And I'm like, well, this is a perfect 3-yard quilt color combo, so right, duh, but did I buy enough to make a bag? And if I make a bag, like, do I want to make the bag properly and center this puppy right here, which is what I really want to do, which means I'm going to have to be very thoughtful in my cutting. I'm having issues, and even more issues because it's 8 o'clock at night and the bag would need to be gifted tomorrow, and I'm acting like I'm never going to be able to get this fabric again. See, this is the problem. This is the problem. This is how we become hoarders. I am super tripping. This is so pretty. Okay, your girl needs to get to it and quit playing. I need to make some decisions. I'm scared. If this is like a yard of fabric, I'm like, I bought it for a 3-yard quilt. Please be more than a yard. Oh, it's definitely more than a yard. It's like 1.5 yards. How much of this fabric did I get? At least a yard. Oh yeah, there's 2 yards of fabric. Okay, we're good. We can still do a 3-yard quilt, and we can still make this bag. Are we going to line the bag in polka dots, or are we going to line the bag in black? What a pretty polka dot. Why did I buy this, guys? This must have been for a 3-yard quilt, right? Must have been. Okay. All right, let's get into this bag. Another one. Let's do it. This is going to be the sizes straight up of Carolina Moore because we need to be cooking with gas because it's 8 o'clock and this bag needs to be done by 9. And I think it can be done because it's not difficult. Once you get all the pieces cut out, it's really not difficult. You just got to want it. All right, let's do it. Remember when I said I was like, this fabric is okay, whatever. Not a big deal. Ooh, I'm glad I felt under there. This is not a big deal. It's okay. Yeah, this fabric is gorge. Like, you guys, this is absolutely stunning. I mean, stunning fabric. Okay, so I got enough of it to use for a 3-yard quilt. I'm going to fussy cut the front of this bag. I am not going to waste a bunch of fabric. Like, I'm not going to do that. There's another project that I want to do in addition to this. Not that that's really going to get done. Anyway, but I'm going to cut this larger. So for her dimensions, I'm going to cut it a little bit larger, and then I'm going to fuse to the back, and then I'm going to cut that down. That's kind of how I get precise, all the way fused to the edges stuff. So I'm just going to cut this a little bit larger than I know is needed And then from there, I will cut the fusible down to the exact measurement that I need, and then cut away the excess fabric. That's the plan. Oh, I should have gotten a new blade. This blade is not lovely. Okay. Ooh, this fabric is pretty, guys. I can't stress enough how gorgeous it is. Now I know that I want this guy or this guy centered, or this guy. I'm going to center one of these owls. I think it's going to be him or her. It's going to be them right there. First thing I'm going to do is hit this with, I really should use Terrial Magic. This is one of those projects where Terrial Magic would be great. Let me show you. Hold on. This is called Terrial Magic. It is liquid fabric stabilizer, and it can make your fabric like paper. If you spray enough of it and saturate it and then hang it to dry until it's absorbed into the fibers, yeah. This can be like stiff as water. And I do want this fabric to have some body to it because it's going to be a bag. So maybe I'll spray it. If I don't use Terrial Magic, this is my other magic spray. It's literally says magic on it. It's amazing. It's not as stiff as the other one though, but this is also an excellent spray. It has replaced Best Press. Best Press just smells good. This has no fragrance, and it's really difficult to make this flake. It's a very special spray. Okay. I don't know. I'm going to have to think on it for a moment and figure out which one I want to use. So the way that I'm going to oversize this, like I said before, I like to cut these a little bit oversized, not a lot, just a touch. So the way that I do that is I put the center on half of the size of the line. So say I wanted to make this 20 inches wide, I would put the center on the 10, and then I would go ahead and cut on the 20, rotate it back around, put it on the 0, and then cut the full 20, and then it will be centered. So that is what I'm doing right now. This is going to be much larger than I really want it to be, but I'm going to get what I get and not throw a fit. Interfacing has been cut to exactly what I need. And now I'm just going to slice this. And yes, when you are fussy cutting, depending upon where your fabric was cut and all of that, you will have some leftover fabric. I'm not going to call it waste. I'm just going to say a little leftover fabric. So that's my first cut, and I have about 3 inches. I might be able to do a little something with this. Do a little fussy cut, maybe an ornament with that big face on there. That would be pretty. I'm not tossing that. I just want to go on record and say I'm not tossing that. You guys get mad at me. You guys really get mad at me sometimes. And now I'm going to flip it around and go get what it is that I want. Nice. And if you do it right, this should line up center to where it is that you want. It should be right dead center, actually. All right. And it looks like it is. And I need one more. I'm not going to be as fussy with the back as the front because I really, well, oh, I need another thing. Do I care? Because if I were to do it, I would do the exact same thing with this guy right here. Do I have enough to do it? I do. Well, let's just go on ahead and make the front just as gorgeous as the back. After all, this is a present. Let's do it. I'm going to line that up best as I can. About center. Center-ish. What am I doing? Something is askew here. There we go. I will square it up. Once I grab this side, I will make it square. That feels about right. I will square the whole thing to the side so that I'm not askew. Because it is definitely not straight. But this side will be. And we'll work from this side. Boy, this is some gorgeous fabric. I'm just going to kind of wrap myself in these pieces. I tell you, they really are very, very, very lovely. And now I don't have to worry about which side is going to be the front and which side is going to be the back. They will both be beautiful. Alrighty. Boy, I need to change the blade. Okay. Okay, so now my oversized piece is square. Now, that's not cute. If you are not trying to fussy cut one of these beautiful owls, then don't sweat it. Don't sweat doing this. Just cut your fabric down to the size that she tells you to, and you don't have to think about it. However, me, you know, I think I'm starting to develop a style about some things. And some things I just want to look a little bit nicer than, you know, I put in the effort. But also, this is a gift, so I guess I should be putting in the effort, right? Is it weird that I just want the bag to be the gift? My girlfriend was like, what are you going to put in it? The bag is the gift. This bag is amazing. It's amazing, apparently. I'm the only person who thinks that a bag is a gift. But they better take this candy and call it a day. It's a gift exchange, and that's lovely. I love that it's a gift exchange. This is me squaring up my oversized piece so that I can get a nice, even bag that is pretty. And now I've got it. She looks good. This bag is going to be straight up gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, now I'm getting ready to turn on my t-shirt press and press this interfacing. I'm going to fold it in half and figure out where center is and just give it a little finger press at the top and the bottom. Just a little finger press on both pieces so that when I line up the interfacing, which should be perfectly sized to what I need it to be, it will line up beautifully. And that way I just trim down the fabric around the interfacing. That's how I do it. Now, you know, there's more than one way to do all the things. So do how you do, but I'm going to take that line that I just creased in there and line that up. And this line and line, why is this so big? Oh, because I haven't cut it. I forgot to cut a piece of it. Okay, no worries. We're going to line those up top and bottom, and then we'll be fine. Leave it to me. I'm like, what is happening here? So again, we are just going to fold this in half, top and bottom, and just finger press that. And then when we grab our fabric, which should also have been finger pressed, which this one was, I'm going to line it up. And it's, again, oversized so that I can get a nice, clean, pretty Um, and this might be more fabric than you want to waste, and I completely understand that. But I'm working with 1 inch marks here. I could have worked on the 1/2 inch. You do what you got to do for you, because I understand. I know people are like, I can't be wasting 1 inch of fabric right and left. I get it. I completely get it. All right, now I'm going to press this down, and then, like I said, I will go back through and trim it, trim it, trim it. So now that the interfacing is on, I'm just going to trim off the excess fabric that's around it, and then I can get to making this beautiful Tula Pink bag. Still haven't changed the darn blade. It's alright. And I'm just trimming off the excess right up to the interfacing. So the interfacing actually is the correct size that I need everything. Remember, the fabric was just a bit oversized so that I can get a nice seal all the way to the end. All right, I have got my 2 panels. Boy, do they look pretty. Oh my goodness, just gorgeous. They are cut down to the appropriate size. It shrunk down a little bit. Not an issue. You just need them to be the same size. But I was like, that's interesting. I'd say it shrunk down about 1/8. So I just went ahead and made sure that they were the exact same dimensions. Not a big deal. But you might notice that that happens to you. I am not going to want to let this bag go. I can already tell. Like, I'm tempted to put the polka dots on the inside instead of this black fabric, but you know what, it's the inside. It's gorgeous. Let's just do it. But I'm like, anyway, I'm getting ready to box these corners per the instructions. I'm going to box both, and then we'll put the bag together. So corners have been boxed for the top and for the lining perfectly, no issues there. Now I'm going to box these edges here. I'm going to fold them in half, and I'm going to stitch back and forth. Also, as you can see, I have sewn down on all the sides where you're supposed to sew. It helps give it a nice crease. So yes, and now I'm getting ready to, like I said, I'm getting ready to box these, sew these closed. And you just close it this way, just like that. And then I'm going to sew back and forth, locking the stitches on the front and the back. Same thing here. Lock the stitches on the front and the back. I'm going to do that with everything. I'm going to close up all these little boxed edges on the liner and this and the outer fabric. So all the corners have been done. They've all been done. I've clipped them right here, just at the tip to open that up, and then I'll open those seams up. The inner has been cut too. Corners have been boxed. I'm going to put them right sides together, and I'm going to stitch all the way around. I'm going to leave a beautiful hole here for turning. Don't forget to leave the hole. And I'm going to stitch around just the outside, leaving a hole. I'm going to do the same thing with these guys. These guys also will get put right sides together, and I'll stitch around, leaving the top open. So, right sides together with a hole in the bottom. I don't know if I left a big enough hole, but we're gonna just work through it. And then I've got this guy here. This was nice and easy to do. This is like, what, my 3rd or 4th one doing, and it was easy peasy. Just sew around it. It was just as simple as that. I opened up the seams right here, and that doesn't bother me. And so now I'm going to work on this guy right here. I've decided to do a weird bag handle in my mind. I don't know how it's going to come out, but you guys know, God forbid I just do stuff. God forbid I just do what they ask. So I'm going to try to see if I can make this kind of a cool handle. This is such a pretty, it was too pretty. It's an ombre. You guys know how I love an ombre. You already know. So yeah, I bought it. In my mind, I'm going to fold it in half this way and sew it down on the side up into a certain point, and then just let the top buckle out. And how much is on here? It feels like there's no ribbon on here. Is it even a yard? Oh, 3 yards. Okay. So I'm going to cut this down and then sew it in half. Boy, this is pretty. I mean, just gorge. Just gorgeous. And then I will put these handles in here. Okay. Cutting it down, 2 handles. Then we're going to sew it up until a certain point, and then we're going to leave the top open. Doing that now. I'm not even going to tell you guys how long it took me to switch out my thread for the handles, because I wanted a pretty variegated thread. Whatever, you know, it's me. So I've got the handles pinned on the inside there. They look good. I'm going to take this lining and I'm going to flip it right side out, and I'm going to stick it down in there, and then I'm going to sew around the edge with my good old 1/4 inch seam. There we go. A little flippy flip. And I've got my beautiful boxed corners there that feel good. I got a hole for turning, although I really don't think that's big enough. I'm going to have to work very hard for that. I have to work. That is not big enough, but we will cross that bridge when we get there. Right sides together. So I'm going to stick this in there, and then I'm going to pin it all around. Ooh, I should have stuck that in better. Okay, I'm going to work on this and try not to stick myself, because you know me, if there's a pin, I will stick myself. Here we go. There we are. Beautiful lining. And we are going to fold this up and stick it down in here. There we go. And pin some stuff here. And I'm just going to pin it all around and then sew it all with the 1/4 inch seam. Then we're going to flip it. So now it's time to turn the bag. The question is, can I turn it through this little bitty hole that I can barely get my whole hand through? I think I can. I think I can. Looks like I will be able to. I will obviously have to do a little steaming, but nonetheless, it's coming on through. Ooh, this is going to need some pressing. Boy, if that's not a pretty ribbon with that, I don't know what is. Where am I showing? Here we go. Gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to have to finesse this, obviously, but it turned. It totally turned. Clip some strings and just play tidy up the bag, but it turned beautifully. Look at this. This is the most beautiful gift bag. Okay, I'm going to finesse this and I'll come back. So I have finessed this a bit and pushed it down in, and I grabbed this tool that I'm recently loving, and I'm just making sure I've rolled this in, and I'm just making sure that it's about 1 inch all the way around. You see that? I just take the little tool and stick it down in there, and just measuring that it's about 1 inch. And now I'm going to go on ahead and jump in that ditch and top stitch just to keep everything in place. Then I'm going to give it a little press. Then I'm going to see if I can put a bottom in this. So the last time I did it, it felt a little kind of flimsy, not really flimsy, but kind of. And so I'd like to give it a little bottom. And with this done properly, with this inch sitting in here, it sits right down because it's meant to have about an inch of a turn down in here. So we are going to do that. And then we will call this bag beautifully constructed once we give it a little press. And then we'll see what else I can get into for this gift exchange for tomorrow. I've got an idea of what I want to make. How quickly can I make it? Who knows? It's me. Who knows what's getting ready to happen? But I've got an idea. And so I'm going to go for it. All right, let me know what you think. I think it's a cutie patootie. Okay, I'm going to press it. I'm going to top stitch it, then press it, and put a bottom in it. I'll show you guys how I'm going to put the bottom in this. So the bag is done. It's stitched, beautifully stitched, if I may say so myself. Just in the ditch, nothing too special. I tried to stay on the outer side of the ditch so that I didn't get that super light blue color on that black thread, on that black fabric inside. Looks really nice. Beautiful handles. It's cute, right? But I want to get a base to make this more sturdy. So my girlfriend was like, well, try the plastic corrugated. I still haven't changed this blade, so don't freak out. I measured the bottom of the bag, and I'm going to try to see, yeah, if I can get this down at the bottom nice. Oh, Jesus, nice and clean. Let's see if I can get it nice and clean here. So I'm just going to take a strip with my rotary cutter. Again, have not changed this blade. So I cut like butter. Like butter. I'm gonna change this blade though after I do this. We are not keeping that after we just cut through plastic. Boy, that cut through like butter. I'm so pleased. Again, this is plastic corrugated that you can get at Michael's for like $1 or $2 or something like that. Okay, I was cutting with the grain one way, against the grain the other, which was definitely more difficult, but still totally doable. Let's see if this fits. Feels like it does. And I'm just going to finesse this a little bit, pounce on it, and then I am going to take it out gently. And I'm going to cover that with fabric. You might be saying, how? I'm going to glue some fabric on there and call it a day. Give me 1 second. Luckily, I have a scrap that is big enough to cover so that I don't have to cut into my additional yardage. It makes me very happy. And I'm just going to use some fabric glue and just glue this down a little bit, and that'll be that. So yeah, I use my favorite fabric glue of all times because it's amazing. I've just cut this down, nothing special. I didn't wrap it. I just simply cut it down so that you don't, when you look down into the bag, you don't just see some plastic sitting there. I'm gonna put a non-stick craft sheet on top and then hit it with the iron just to dry it faster. And then I'm going to stick that puppy right down in the bottom of this bag. I'm going to try to press this bag out a little bit first, just It's got some few wrinkles from being, birthed. So that's reasonable, but other than that, it looks pretty good. It's a pretty bag. Yep, I can't just leave the bag. It can't just be, the present cannot just be a bag, although I think this makes a beautiful present. I think it's lovely, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to make to put in the bag. All right. So, if you guessed that I am going to make a really quick double pot holder, you are absolutely correct. I am getting ready to start quilting this. This is way too long. I don't know why I made this so long, but I'm going to start marking this for quilting, and then I'm going to quilt it. I'm using a combination of regular batting and Insul Bright and Insul Fleece. One is not enough. It's not. So I use this one on the front, and then I use this one on the next layer to deflect heat back going that way. And these two together, you don't have to really worry about so much heat coming through, but one is just not enough. And I'm debating, last time I did it, I only used the double layer on the outsides, which I could do, or I just might do the whole sandwich. It's going to be thick, but all my machines can handle super thick. It's not a big deal for my machines at all. So we shall see if I just do it on the sides or if I do it on the whole thing, which is what I'm leaning toward because it's less cutting for me. I've got my air erasable marker here, and I'm getting ready to mark this fabric first. And we're just going to do some nice, I think we're going to do 45-degree lines because we need to make this quick. Again, this is super long. Really, it could be about 36 inches. This is 40. Why did I, oh, and I'm using my Wizardry sewing floss. It's really just thread, but when I tell you they have the best variegateds in the whole wide world, I tell no lies. Very excited about that. It's gonna really show up beautifully on that black fabric. Where am I gonna start? Let's fold you in half and just go. Tulip Pink's dots were made to basically go between them, but I don't know if I want to do that. I want to make much larger lines because I don't want to be quilting this forever. This is a lovely gift, but it is not an heirloom quilt, so we're going to do some really big quilting lines on this. We're going to keep am I going to go everyone? Nope. I think I'm going to go right through the dots. Two and a half inches. Let's go 2.5 inches. Yep, I'm going to quilt the entire ruler. This is a 2.5 by 18.5 ruler. So I am going to do the entire length of the ruler. Again, I do not want this to take a long time, and I could be sitting here doing lines forever because it's kind of my thing. So we ain't got time for that today. This is the air erasable marker, and believe it or not, it takes it air erases a little faster than I want, so I really do need to get a move on and not be playing about this. Matter of fact, I should have had my machine already set up, and it's not. Oh, marking tools are such a thing right now. Is this even a 45-degree angle? What made me think this was 45 degrees? Do I even care? I don't. I do not. We're just gonna go with it. Oh, it is 45. I wonder why. I didn't use the marking properly. Is it erasing already? Ugh, these marking tools, I tell you. So I'm making my sandwich. Or I have made my sandwich. I thought I was recording. Of course I wasn't. So I have a 10 by like, it's just a rectangle. And it's 10 by like 40. And the black fabric is going facing away from me because it's black. And we want the dark fabric to catch all the spaghetti goodiness, you know. I just like to keep a dark fabric on that side, either dark or super busy. And then your pretty fabric will go here, however you decide to design your design. I have the Insulbright, which is the crinkly one. You hear it, it sounds like foil. Then I have the fleece next, and the fleece with the shiny side facing that way so it deflects the heat. This is a chunky guy, and my sewing machine can take it without any issues. I don't even have to think about it. I'm going to sew this one on my M7. It's all marked and ready. I am going to throw a couple of clips in it just for good measure, just so it doesn't move around too much. And then I'm going to start in the middle and just work my way out. It's going to shift, which is why I've cut it so much larger. It's going to do its thing, and then we'll get a nice clean finish when we are all done. It's shifting already. I can just see it's laid down. Okay. I haven't decided how long I'm going to cut this yet. It's probably going to be about 38 inches, maybe 38. All right, I'm going to start again sewing in the center, and then I'll just work my way out. So this piece has been quilted now. Looks pretty good. Now I'm going to mark the little hand pieces. That is definitely thick. So if your machine can't handle it, maybe you could just put it double up on the hand pieces like I did in one of my other videos, because again, you really want some protection. Now, how am I going to quilt this? I'm not sure. Do I want to? Nobody has time for that. Just throw some lines in it and call it a day. I would love to do a plaid and just leave this guy here. Again, too much. Always doing too much. I need to, I would love to just do a little right here. And then, I think I will actually. Now, if you've been following me anytime, you know that if it's not weird, I didn't do it. So, I'm actually not going to quilt this particular line. We're going to leave this really weird shape right here with this owl's face. And then this one right here is similar, but not the same. I did leave a big block right here. And if I were really getting down, I would have continued this pattern through here and through there. But I didn't, because you know what? We don't have time for that. We don't have time for start and stops and burying threads and all that kind of stuff. We don't have time for that. I'm already doing too much as it is because I'm me, and it's just what I do. It's too much. Should have named this channel Doing Too Much. All right, we are going to, this is a very large piece of batting. Nope, it's too big. I'm going to cut this batting down to the same size as this backing and this front fabric, and then we'll pin it. This fabric is already oversized, so we are just going to cut it down to 11.5 by 10.5, and then we will quilt from there. And that will be that. So we have the color challenge every year, and the color challenge is you have to use the color of the year, the Kona color of the year or the Pantone color of the year. Kona color of the year was Cosmos. I'm sorry, Cosmos. And I totally forgot to use it. So, and this lady went through so much trouble to like get me this. So I was like, oh shoot. So I'm going to use this to bind the sides, which totally works because it matches. So not a problem. We're going to throw this in there too. Now that everything's been quilted, it's decision time. I need to figure out exactly how long I want to make this. And then I need to figure out, once I figure out how long and how wide I want to make that, then I need to cut these guys down. They look really good. They came out really cute. This one's absolutely my favorite. And they will go like this on opposite sides. All right, decisions must be made. It's 10 wide. Now, I think we're gonna trim this down to 9 and see what that looks like. First thing I'm gonna do is just straighten out this side, and then we'll see if we can get 9. I could pull out my 60 for this. Am I? Could. Let's see. Okay, well, we're just gonna straighten the side up and see what we get. This is a 60 millimeter. I think I need to take a little more. Yep. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, there we go. All right, we've got a clean edge there. I'm gonna whip this around and make this 9 inches. Could make it 9.5, but that's just being greedy. No, let's just make it 9. All right, lovely. Now we've got 9 inches that way. And let's see what we want to make it going this way. Let's cut this down to 18.5. Why not, right? Let's see. All right, so, there we go. All right, so I cut this down to, what did we say, 9, and then 18.5. Is that what we did? We have a stray thread here. Yeah, so it's like 37 inches, I guess. 37, 36 inches. I like at least 36. But then again, I have some very large gumbo pots that I use. Okay, so this is gorgeous. It's cut down, lovely. Now we need to cut down the width of the other pieces to 9. Did I do 9.5? We did 9. To 9 inches too. Nine inches. Where am I going to get it? How am I going to get 9 inches from this? It's currently 10.5, I think. What do I want to keep? Do I want this to be askew? Do I want this to be center? I don't know. I'm going to figure out, oh, geez, what I want to keep and then stop. So we have cut this down to 9 by 11, and then the big strip is 9 by 18.5, which is like 37. So what will happen is these will go like this. One is going to go this way, and then the other one's going to go the other way. So these are, okay, we're cooking with gas now. We've got 9 by 11, 9 by 11, then we got 9 by 37. Great. For the binding that goes across the top of this, something that I like to do is I need to use this color, obviously. So I'm going to 2.5 inch strip, fold it in half. I'm going to fold each side in, and then I'm just going to clip it to the top of that. And so I'm not going to sew it to one side and then flip it and sew it to the other. I'm just going to do it all in one fell swoop with a decorative stitch, which I like to do. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'll be back with this ready to cut down and sew it all together. So now I've finished. It's pretty, right? I love a decorative stitch across the, for binding, it's awesome sauce. Let's see if I shed a little light on the subject. Okay, so now I am going to clip these in place. I am going to round these? They don't have to be rounded. I can round them, but if I don't round them and just leave them square, I could use some regular straight binding and move on about my life. No, I cannot do that. Nope. Can't do it. Thought about it. These corners would be too bulky, I think. All right, I'm going to trim these little edges off here, and I think I'm going to go around this with a zigzag stitch on the edge to compress it a little bit. Nah, that's extra work too. What am I going to do? Let's just move on. Let's just do our binding. Let's do some bias binding really quickly. Chop off these sides, pin this in place, and let's get to going. Let's get to getting. So I decided what I was going to do. I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to cut off these little tips right here. I'm going to do a whole zigzag stitch around the perimeter to compress this a little bit before I put my binding on. The more you sew batting foam, it compresses down. It makes it a little bit easier to work with because we do have quite a few layers happening here. It's getting tricky. Not for my machines, but yours. You definitely might want to, if you aren't running a machine that can handle it, compress this stuff down a little bit. So before I round the corners, before I do anything, I am going to do a zigzag stitch all the way around. This is the back. And we're just chomping these off. And it's not a super wide zigzag stitch, just a little zigzag, just to do some compression, like I said. Boy, this is pretty. Kind of want to keep it. Actually, I really want to keep it because the one that I made for myself, again, do not do one layer and really try to use this. If you do one layer, it might just be for, you know, a little bowl out the microwave, maybe not like a real hot lasagna kind of thing. Because again, hot, 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 hot. And I'm just throwing some clips in here, lining this up. And yes, I am going to come through and round these, but before I even do that, I just want to compress it a bit and get these in place. Because it's thick. Okay. It's even hard to get the clips on. All right. There we go. So I decided to grab my, what is it, 6.5, 6 inch, 6.5 inch circle. And I'm just pushing it up until it's even on the top and the bottom. And I am marking a little circle here. And I did the same thing on this side. And then I'm just going to sew on that line really quickly. And then I'm going to cut right in front of it, so that we've got just some pretty rounded sides here. Just a little here, and we'll push it back till it meets the tips there. And again, I'm just going to sew on that line, and then I'm going to cut in front of it, and that'll give us, you know, a pretty little arc. I thought about using my little guy here, which I also could have just as easily done, but I don't know. 6.5 dozen or the other. Just round these corners. Figure out how you want it rounded and do it. I think the 6 gives just a bigger, deeper round. That's all. That's all. Now we're doing some quick bias binding. I'm starting off with a 22-inch square, and I'm just going to cut from one side to the next on the 45. I guess I should start down here. Let's do this. So I just cut a diagonal. Now I'm going to bring this piece up here to the top, and I'm going to run a quick seam just down here, offset it just a little bit. And I'm going to run the same right down this side, 1/4 inch, nothing special. Now we have a parallelogram. So much fun, parallelogram, right? And now I'm just going to draw lines across the bottom until I get all the way up the size that I want. I'm going to do 2 3/4. I know I need a little extra because she's chunky. So we're going to do 2 3/4 on here. And there you are. There we go. And we'll just draw lines all the way across that we can see. Kind of line am I drawing, right? Well, we're just getting as close as we can here. We're doing what we can. There we go. And then we'll do 2 3/4 from that line. And I'm just going to keep drawing all the way up, and then I will offset it and cut it. So of course I marked on the wrong side. I don't know what on earth I was thinking, but I'm not going to remark it on the other side. We are just going to let this live. I took off the piece that wasn't going to fit. You know, you got to go right sides together. So in theory, if this were on the proper side, you could see that it would go like this, and then like this, and you would have, this would make up a beautiful tube, but you have to offset it by 1 so that you have continuous tape, right? So we're just going to do that, but we're going to do it without being able to really see it all that great. So we're going to do this and this, and we know that we have to offset it, and I can kind of see, and that's what I'm looking for. I want that offset right there. And I know that these need to intersect about 1/4 inch past one another, so we are going to line this up so that it intersects. I can see through the fabric, so it's not the world's biggest deal. And I'm going to pin these and then just sew a 1/4 inch seam down this side and cut it open. I'm going to turn it before I cut it though. You'll see. So this is what I have. It's offset. If I hadn't used a friction pin, I would open up this seam, but of course I did, because it's me. With some heat, I would press that open. But right now we are going to get what we get. I could try to seam roll it, with a seam roller. And now I'm just going to cut on the line. I'm just going to cut with my scissors on that line. See, close, it's close, they're close. These are all right about. This one here is a little off. I need to turn, oh, I didn't finish sewing. I'm like, what happened? All right, no worries. No worries. So this has been zigzagged. See, nothing special, but it definitely compresses these down. I zigzagged right here through the through that curve, And now I'm just going to cut it off. I'm going to try to leave, you know, a little bit of the zigzag there. I'm just going to cut in front of it so that it keeps it compressed. And I'm going to hack away at it. Literally hacking away at it. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. And just try not to cut the actual zigzag that I just sewed. And then we're going to bind this puppy. Hey, look, it's a cutie patootie. You can see the zigzag right here. I can just see it there. Much easier to see it on this side, this way. And yes, I'm sawing back and forth because this blade is super dull because I still haven't changed it with all this stuff that I'm doing. And I can see the curve there. And I'm just gonna hack at it. You can do this with a plate, you can draw it with a plate, and then, you know, I've seen people do this all kinds of different ways to just get a curve. But now we have super cute curves that are still compressed. And we're going to do the binding. Am I going to sew it on the front? I think I am. I'm going to sew it on the front. And this is not the binding. Bias binding right here. Come on, bias binding. Sew it on the front and flip it to the back. And then stitch in the ditch. Is that how I'm going to do it? No, maybe I'll sew it to the back and pull it to the front. Yeah, I think I'm going to sew it to the back and pull it to the front. And then we are going to stick a fork in this and call this done. Yeah, I'm going to sew it to the back and flip it to the front. Yep. So it's all done. Binding on. Looks pretty good. It's cute. It's a beautiful gift. I hope they like it. I hope they like their matching bag. What else is going in here? So we've got the bag with the beautiful resin tumbler with the straw. And we have this, and that's all for now. If I have some more time, I might throw something else in there because I'm me, and you just never know what's going to come in a Maccouche bag, but I think this is a really cute gift. I hope whoever gets it loves it. Looks good. All right, and that is all for now. Super cute. Love it. Love this. Really want to keep that. Really want to keep this. This is pretty awesome.